This time on Graveyard Carz, the 1968 Charger in Turbine bronze metallic is finished and ready to be delivered to its owner. But first, we rewind and reveal every stage of this car's restoration. It all builds to the reveal of the car the owner has been waiting 5 years to see. His 1968 Charger, brought back from the dead.
The unburied dead, the unburied dead are coming back to life, are coming back to life.
Self-proclaimed Mopar master Mark Warman and his protege painter Will Scott get paid to bring Mopar muscle cars back from the dead. They work with Mark's daughter Alyssa and his cousin Dougie. They're willing to travel anywhere to retrieve a customer's car, detailing how it lived its life and how it died. After that, they bring it back to make it look just like it did the day it was born. With the 1968 Charger finished, Mark invited the owner to see the car for the first time in 5 years.
Are you happy?
Oh, yeah.
Are you excited?
You know what? I'm very excited that after bugging him for a decade or more,
This is why we're here.
and getting the car up here and then working with you, that it's done.
Kill the key light first. Are you ready to see your car?
Oh, man.
All right. House lights.
Woo! Oh,
there, my friend,
God.
is your 1968 Dodge Charger, the way it was when it left the assembly line.
That's insane.
On the day that it was built.
Oh, my God.
1968 Dodge Charger RT, factory 440 automatic, green with a white interior, white bumblebee stripe. This is a one-owner car entrusted to Graveyard Carz.
With the 68 Charger scheduled to be dipped, Mark and Alyssa document the car before disassembly.
What we want to do right now is verify it's what the owner says it is. A real 68 Charger RT, the color's the original color, the interior color's the original color, and all the numbers match. That's the way it's alleged to me, okay? Okay. So, a lot of information right here on this data plate right here. XS29, that's the first 4 characters of the VIN. You remember what S is?
I don't.
It's a special price class. It means it's the RT version of the Charger, okay? So we know that the fender tag right there matches exactly the first 4 characters of a real RT. And here's your body codes. The XS is Dodge Charger RT 68 to 70 only. So that would be your easiest way to be able to tell. So what's that VIN read?
It's gonna read XS29.
I can tell you it stands for Fast Top.
What does fast top mean?
Fast Top is the style of the body. See how this thing slopes off the back like this? That's what they called this particular style of car, was a Fast Top. See how the windows inset in it? Not incest. Inset.
Yeah, not to be confused.
Your Vin Code System is right here at the front of the book. Just a real quick thing. Go to 1968 passenger car. First digit is an X, means it's a Dodge, right? S means special. Special means RT on these cars, okay?
Okay.
29, 2-door sports hardtop or fast top.
Okay.
Okay. The 5th digit of the VIN on this one should be an L. 1 4-barrel or 2.
1.
They only made them with 1 4-barrel, okay? The 8 represents the year, 1968. So the first thing we want to do is write down the full VIN number off the windshield.
XS29
Charger.
L
440. 8 B Hamtramck, and then the sequence.
285963.
In 1969, the full VIN was on the fender tag. It matched the windshield, it matched the trunk lip in the back, and it matched the radiator support. In 1968, they used the shipping order numbers on the radiator support and the trunk lip, and it only appears to one section of this car right here. 68 and older, they didn't put the VINs on the radiator support, they put the shipping order number.
Okay.
The shipping order number is right here on the VIN tag. It's the last series of numbers right there.
077834.
So this and this belong together. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now, the question is, did somebody take this radiator support out of another car, cut it out, and weld it in here, put the 2 screws into it that make it look like it's an RT, and all of a sudden they've got an RT out of a 318 car? My guess is absolutely not, for one, original owner. Number 2 is, you don't see like a shiny core support that just got put in around an old muddy car. When these cars were gonna be built, they got assigned a shipping order number immediately. Okay. Then they got assigned a VIN number. So we know the core support, radiator support started life in this car, right? Yep. Okay, they hide the other body number underneath this weather strip. Oh. Nobody's had this weather strip up. You can see that's old and rusty. Ugh. So we're gonna pull that first.
Maybe you're taking some of the paint off, that's okay? Yeah,
because we're gonna restore the car. So tell me if those numbers match the last 8 digits of the shipping order number. 077834.
077834.
So we've established that all the body numbers match. The only things we have left to make sure of is the color codes for the car and a quick inventory of what's here and what's not, okay? The best example of an original color is inside the deck lid. Do you know why?
Because it doesn't get faded from the sun?
Right, exactly. It's kind of a reddish copper, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go look at the paint code. What are those 3 letters right there?
MM1.
MM1. Turbine Bronze Metallic. The M is the code that you're looking for. Turbine Bronze. That's probably Turbine Bronze. Let's look at the interior, the trim, the C6W. That's your trim code. That's gonna tell you if it's a premium interior or not a premium interior and what colors it is, okay? And it's also gonna tell you if it's bucket or bench. First letter C means it's a Charger interior. That's good, because we've got a Charger, right? And then W will be for white. White with black trim. Make sure you have a white interior with some black trim.
Dash is black.
Dash is black, steering column's black, console's black, carpet's black.
Black.
But the seats in the interior are white. 1968 only, transverse. That means it goes around the back of the car. Sport stripe, white. So it is coded for a bumblebee stripe. I'm really glad that everything on the car is as correct as the owner alleged it was when it got here. It's a one-owner car, so it's nice to find out that there's no surprises. Educationally speaking, I can almost guarantee you that engine either started life in that car or was put in within the first year. My guess is it's the original numbers matching engine, but until that engine's out on the ground and we can clean it, we can't be sure. Visual inspection is done on the outside of the car. We're gonna raise it up in the air and do a visual inspection of the underside of the car. It's a disc brake car. Ask him, did he order disc brakes? Did he want disc brakes? Because this is some of the first era stuff that get disc brakes on the Mopars. How you can tell if it's a sure grip rear end or a positive traction rear end. Chrysler calls it a sure grip. Okay.
Okay. How can you tell?
When you spin the wheel, the other wheel goes the same direction. If this was a one-legger and it wasn't a sure grip, that wheel over there would go the opposite direction. So it does have a sure grip in it. Anyway, just looking visually, you got your belt moldings, Charger moldings, back glass and reveal moldings, your flip-top gas cap, which by the way, in 1970 read fuel and 68 was just plain like that. Engine's in place. Looks like this is very original. Most of the time by now, somebody's yanked that air cleaner off of there, thrown it away, and put a Mickey Mouse chrome one on there. God. That one's still got the original one. It's got the original pad underneath the hood for the installation. Front bumper, grille, it's actually in good shape. Bumper needs to be re-chromed, but for the most part, everything is there and in shape. Truth is, this is a really nice car. And when they're a nice car like this to start with, the finished product is gonna be even that much better.
Okay, that sounds good.
Fruit of my loin.
No.
With the car documented and disassembled, it's now time for the bodywork to begin.
So this little 68 Charger, when I looked at it in the original photos before we brought the car here, it looked pretty good. It looked solid. It isn't until it goes out to dipping and comes back that you really see all of its sins. We had a section of driver's floor panel we had to replace and a small patch on the passenger side. The left-hand frame rail, that was the only other big thing on this car. The good news is the frame rails in the rear were good, so all we had to do was put POR 15 over it, which is a rust inhibitor, and we were able to seal it back up with new metal. One of the things that has made my job so much easier is companies like Auto Metal Direct that are making the replacement panels, because 20 years ago, I would have had to find a good Dodge Charger and cut it up to get the pieces out of it that I needed. Now, I can just call and order them, and they fit. Miller makes some really nice equipment that we're able to do beautiful fit and finish work. All these things add up to how we are able, at the end of the day, to put a car back together exactly the way the factory did, and in some cases, maybe a little bit better. We sent it over to have the mud work done, and then handed it off to our friend Will the painter.
So once I get dressed here in the booth and I'm painting, it's a nice color. We haven't done it yet. It's real pretty. It's kind of like the burnt orange, but it's a little more bronze look to it. Super transparent, high metallic. So it's one of those colors that you just got to be patient, and you'll spend the next 4 or 5 hours doing. Once I'm done with the car, it's gonna look amazing. I mean, it's the final paint. The prep work went great, and I'm a better painter than Mark, so of course it's gonna look good. That MM1 turbine is the first time we've ever done that color here. First time I've done that color. It's a gorgeous color. Then you top on the fact that it's got a white stripe and white interior. This car is just gonna be an absolutely stunning car and probably the best looking car that's ever left here.
Will finishes the Charger's paint just as Mark arrives at the shop. The question is, how did Will's first attempt painting bronze metallic turn out?
Turbine bronze metallic. Difficult to spray, difficult to cut. Moment of silence. Dearly beloved, we're back again to lay to rest. Run number 2.
All joking aside, this bronze metallic paint came out so good, Mark couldn't help but celebrate. Once the paint cured, Will was cleared to jump into the cut and buff, and even received some help from Alyssa, who surprisingly held her own.
Okay, I want to be left alone. I want to be able to, I'm basing this on the flatness of the panel, the cleanliness of the panel, the buffing, the making sure there's no scratches in it, and the final finish.
After Mark performed his quality control test, he determined that the cut and buff earned his seal of approval.
It's not about them. Just want, and you guys don't put this in the edit. You look like you're about to knock a lung loose.
While Will meticulously paints the Charger's grille for its later install, Mark and his cousin Dougie build out the foot pedal assembly and rear drum brakes.
So Doug, go ahead and cycle through it. A little more so we can see the action. So what you see is those things going in and out like that. These right here are going to press against a brake drum. So what I do here is you see that I'm moving it back and forth. As I move it back and forth, it shows...
What?
It shows that it's free like that, okay? Now, when I tell Dougie that I do want him to go ahead and press it down, which is different than right there when I was just... Can you let off?
Sorry.
It's okay. You see how I can't move it anymore? You need a psychiatrist, man. Something's wrong with you.
Yep, I'm sorry.
The only recommendation I would have for those of you at home is not have Dougie be your assistant.
Coming up, Mark and Dougie install the 68 Charger RT suspension and its 440 Magnum. The Ghouls install the newly restored dash from Instrument Specialties. With a bumper, valance, and newly painted grille in place, the team test fires the engine. And after 5 long years, the 68 Charger is revealed to its owner. In the graveyard, awaiting its own restoration, is another 1968 Charger equipped with a 383 Magnum. With an automatic on the floor and bucket seats, this car is complete and solid considering its age. The 1968 Charger's design even further differentiated it from the Dodge Coronets and favored Richard Sias's Coke bottle profile. The rear end featured the appearance of a kick-up spoiler And while the fastback roof was gone, the flying buttress was adopted, similar to that of the '67 Pontiac GTO. Despite our Charger's generic and uninteresting backstory, its current condition, and the mysterious General Lee decals make this 1968 Charger our corpse of the week.
Okay, have you primed the carburetor yet?
No, sir.
Okay, why don't we put some fuel in the carburetor before we start cranking it over. Doug and I are out getting ready to fire up the 1968 440 Magnum. This is the numbers matching engine for our 68 Charger RT, the MM1 Turbine bronze metallic, I believe. White Bumblebee.
Yeah.
I haven't put the Bumblebee on yet, but I will, and it'll be beautiful. This is the original numbers transmission, numbers engine. We're gonna fire it up on our new Easy Run stand. I'll show you a little bit about that as we get started, but right now, we're gonna get the engine running. What do you think? Will it run? Gee, you're a gambling man. Will she fire right off? It's what we do every day.
It's gonna run.
Why are you staring at me?
It'll run. Oh, sorry.
Crank her up. There's not a better feeling. You hit that button and it fires off and doesn't backfire and crap all over the place. Now, I always expect them to be noisy because the lifters aren't pumped up yet. But boy, it sounds great. We're gonna run it until the thermostat opens, and then we're gonna add more water to make sure our cooling system is working okay. It's idling fast right now, about 2,400, 2,500 RPM. That's because we're trying to break in the cam. See the paint starting to burn off the manifolds? We have our transmission back here. We can go ahead and put that in neutral, top it off, and it's ready to go in the car. Go ahead and shut it down. Kill it. Go get a rag in case it pukes on you. That's what happened to Royal. Did you ever see that? I said, don't take that off of there. I'm Royal Yoakum. I change locks for the school district. Bam! Shot right to the ceiling. Absolutely. So be careful. So when you start one of these engines up, whether it's on an engine run stand or whether it's in the car, there's a purging process. You top off the radiator as far as you can go. Usually it's about 1 gallon to 1.5 gallons of water antifreeze mix. But the thermostat isn't open at that time. So the whole block is empty. It doesn't have water in it. What you have to do, and this is where you have to be careful, is you run that engine up until you believe that the thermostat has opened. You feel that upper radiator hose. As soon as that thing gets hot, you know the thermostat's open. You also know it just sucked 1 gallon right out of the radiator and put it into the engine. That means the radiator's low now. So if you've been watching Graveyard Carz for any period of time, you know we run a lot of our engines, try to get them all, on this engine run stand, the Easy Run engine run stand. What we loved about that was that you could take an engine, move it over to the stand, make your connections, run it, make sure that you don't have oil leaks, make sure that it doesn't overheat, make sure that the carburetor's dialed in right, all these little things. And so it's much easier if it's kind of a failure to do it on that stand than if it were in the car. Okay, so right now, we've got great oil pressure. The engine's running really good, running about 2,500 RPM. I'm gonna back the idle down. The cam is broke in. Then we'll shut it off. That's a good idle right there for right now. It's a little high, but that's okay. Good job, we're safe. All right, kill the mill. We call it kill the mill.
Now that Mark and his cousin Dougie have test started the '68 Charger's engine, it's time to install the drivetrain.
So we're gonna install the rear end first. Doug, I think the car will need to come down. So these 4 studs right here go through these 4 holes right here in the leaf spring hanger, the reinforcement, all the way in, and then they get bolted down. At that point, we raise the back up, hang the shackles into place where they're supposed to go, and then we can let it down, connect the shocks and the rest of the lines.
Got it.
Okay.
Here. How's yours doing, Mark?
We got one, but we got an angle thing going on. So do you have yours already started?
I do. There, got it.
Got it? Okay.
All right.
Beautiful. Okay, you got your shackle hardware. Nice. you go. Put the nuts on them. Okay. Okay. Go ahead and let me know when you're up far enough for that to go on. Being professionals here.
Watch your head.
I am. In 1968, these engines were turquoise, all right? In 69, the HP engines, they went to the Hemi Orange, the street Hemi Orange that you mostly see us work on around here. But have no illusion, this is an actual turquoise engine. It's correct Chrysler color, but sometimes people say, well, it's blue. And there's no mistaking a corporate blue with this turquoise. How are we looking? Looking good?
Easy.
Looking good?
Yeah. Okay, it feels pretty good so far.
Okay.
Car down.
Let's see if we can get the back ones in. Beautiful. Okay.
Lucky.
Right now we have the K-member bolts in place. Doug's underneath there putting the transmission cross-member bolts in. I'm gonna give him a hand with that. Once we get those in, we can raise the car up and then button everything up. And there's a lot of pieces that need to go together after that, so. Cousin Dougie! Tap, put that bolt in. I really want to put that bolt in. You had all the fun. I want to do it. Do that. Okay, put a nut on that. And next one. This back one here.
You want a hammer?
There you go. Just put the nut on there. You don't need to worry about tightening. We'll raise it up.
Okay.
Good job. Okay. You saw Deliverance, right?
Mark and Dougie finish tightening the last few bolts, knowing they still have a laundry list of things left to install before unveiling the car to its owner. The 1968 Charger was filled with all kinds of comforts and conveniences, including 6-passenger seating, an increased capacity A904 torque flight, and a one-piece impact-absorbing steering column jacket. It also came with a variety of engine choices. What was not available as an option for the 68 Charger 2-door hardtop? A 383 2-barrel, a 383 4-barrel, a 440 Magnum. Find out the answer after the break. So, what engine was not available as an option for the 68 Charger 2-door hardtop? The answer is the 440 Magnum. The 383 2-barrel and 4-barrel were the only optional engines for the 68 Charger. However, a 68 Charger RT came standard with a 440 Magnum and an optional 426 Hemi. If you didn't know, now you do.
Right now the ghouls are getting ready to install our dash assembly in the 68 Charger RT. This is the MM1 RT 440 automatic, original white interior car. Beautiful numbers matching, original owner car. We sent the dash out a couple of months ago to Instrument Specialties. It's back now and they're going to install it. The first thing to see here is take a look at the dash VIN plate. These dash VIN plates cannot be reproduced, period. It's against the law. This is the original one. What Instrument Specialties did was they took it off, detailed the dash, and reinstalled it with the original rosette rivets and the Chrysler Corporation transfer, a licensed product. This is exactly how that dash VIN plate would look if it was 1968 and the car was on the showroom floor. Another big misnomer done by many, many shops is the finish. If you look carefully, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but this is a very grainy, textured, matte finish. It's not semi-gloss rattle can. It's not flat black. It's not throw some dirt on it while it's wet paint. This is a lacquer paint by PPG that has a suede agent in it. So the thinking behind a matted finish on the interior of the car is reflection. It's light reflection. So if it's anywhere in the view of the driver of the car, you'll never see a real shiny painted surface. It should be a matted suede finish.
With Mark's green light, Dougie and Justin carefully install the dash. Still to come, the Ghouls install the 68 Charger RT's hand-painted original grille, bumper, and valance. Mark and the crew test fire the newly installed 440 Magnum. And finally, the moment the owner has waited 5 long years to see, the reveal of his Turbine Bronze Metallic 1968 Charger RT.
So right now, got the Ghouls setting everything out to be able to finish up the last pieces on our 68 Charger RT. One of the last pieces is also the biggest payoff pieces. It's this beautiful grill assembly. Typically speaking, the grills are busted to pieces. They're either sun-baked and fried to pieces, or they've been wrecked and plastic welded back together. This was a really clean California car. The guy bought it when it was only a couple of years old, still has it today. He's taken very good care of it. So this grill assembly, when we started, was really nice. It just needed to be restored. So if you look at this grill from end to end, what you'll see is Will's done the paint and the touch-up work on it. These are actually his original emblems. I could have bought brand new ones from Classic Industries, and most of the time we do. But in this particular case, I love that they've been on the car for 50 years. I think that's a cool thing. The moldings, I did buy new ones from Classic Industries, and that's one of the first things that we're going to put in. So first thing we're going to install is the grill. Is that right, Douglas?
Uh-huh.
Here we go, looking good. Come on in.
There we go.
I'm gonna put one bolt in there just to keep it from falling. Okay. Right now, Doug, so real gently, try to push that through the opening. Just real nice, right there. Justin, you have the other two?
Yeah, got them right here.
See those. Great. Okay, I think we're all right to do that. That looks pretty good, pretty darn good. Okay, let's lower it down and put the top ones in. All right, so you got your bolt started over there. Would you bring me, I need a bolt. Thank you. Okay, rear end. Okay. Nice, just like that. Needs to go in towards the passenger side a little bit. Okay, so you guys got the bolts out. Let's do the balance panel.
Yes, sir.
Begin. This is really nice sheet metal from Auto Metal Direct, but you always have a little tweak to do. So they do that before it goes through paint and body, so we're not out here trying to put a valance on that doesn't fit with all the cameras rolled. You know?
Need one more fastener. A Bolston.
Looks awesome. Everything looks great. Who wants the honors of installing that?
What's wrong?
Nothing's wrong. Are you
How's
centering that? That looks beautiful.
How's it look?
I think it looks good.
You like that?
I think it's beautiful. So the guys are almost done with it. They're getting ready to put the front bumper guards on. We've got our valance, our bumper, our grill assembly. The only things left on this car right now are we got to go down to Accurate Exhaust in Roseburg and pick up the system for it. Classic Industries just got in the much back-ordered console top plate assembly for it. I've got to put a bumblebee stripe on it. Then all we have to do is start it up, take it down, have the alignment done, do our road test, check for squeaks and leaks, final detail, and that car is done and able to go back to the owner.
With everything plumbed out, Accurate Exhaust installed, Justin rolls the Charger into place to fire up its engine one more time.
Will did an amazing, beautiful, I will say, gorgeous job on the paint.
Thank you.
What is the paint code?
MM1.
And
Turbine.
Turbine what?
Bronze.
Yep. There
Gorgeous.
You go.
Gorgeous.
It is a beautiful car. Probably the nicest body and paint you've laid out yet.
Correct.
Probably.
I agree.
Douglas did most of the drivetrain, the 440 and the automatic. It is, what is the alphanumeric code for 1968 440? V like victory. Wrong. Wrong.
Victor?
No.
X.
No. Well, you can guess them all. How about
What?
D? D like David.
For what? The engine?
Oh, God.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyway, what we're going to do today is we're going to start the car up. It's really done for all practical purposes. It does have to go down and get the wheel alignment on it. Good job on the wheel covers.
God, those were a pain in the butt.
So to do those wheel covers, he actually had to mask off the area that gets painted with duct tape, cousin duct tape. And then he sandblasted those areas, and then he pulled the cousin duct tape off, reverse masked it, and actually painted it in there with his etching prime.
Yep.
And then the black and the silver.
Yep.
And so they look really great. But bottom line is, this thing's ready to start. Okay, so what we're gonna do is just see if we can crank the fuel up from the tank. I don't wanna take the air cleaner off and prime it if we don't have to. It looks to me like it would run. What do I know? Now, the only thing you may have to do is adjust the distributor. So you be on distributor. If I call out for more advance, you know which way to go if it needs advance.
Forward.
Forward, sure.
Clockwise.
Okay.
I will.
Hi, Doug.
Okay.
Getting your shot.
Oh.
What? It's not firing. More advance?
The styling of the 68 Charger was upgraded significantly. Some of those upgrades include vacuum-operated headlight doors, new instrument panel, racing-type gas cap with an optional locking cap, and a recessed rear window. True or false? The 1968 Charger and the Charger RT did not have a fastback roof. So, the 1968 Charger and Charger RT did not have a fastback roof. If you thought that sounded fishy, you're right. Some people who are not familiar with the Mopar nomenclature may assume from the tunneled rear window that the fastback was discontinued for this model year. Despite this, the 29 in the body style code still meant fast roof for Mopar. So now you know.
What? It's not firing. More advance?
Go ahead and take the top of the air cleaner off and see if it's pumping fuel.
Okay.
It's been a long day.
Yes, it has. Do you have a flashlight?
I don't.
In there. See any gas?
Blind leading the blind.
Yeah, we got gas, Mark.
It is pumping already?
Yep.
Whoa.
Man, did you hear
Wow.
that? Yeah, it's kind of hard to miss, huh? Yeah.
Sounds good.
That made me rattled.
Sounds really good.
Very nice.
All right, I'm gonna shut it off. 60 pounds of oil pressure at an idle. What do you think of the engine fire up?
Ran good.
Yep, interviewer's right there.
Oh,
You can talk
sorry.
to him too. No, it's okay.
What? No, it ran really good. Kicked off hard, didn't it?
It did.
It did,
Yeah,
boy.
a lot of times they.
Yeah, started
What are
good.
you laughing about, you duck-bill weirdo-looking magic hat? Why are you
Yeah,
laughing?
the fire up went really good.
We think that it went very well.
Ran great.
Beautiful. All right, I want to let it cool down because it started getting pretty warm. Check the coolant level. Check the oil level. Lock down the distributor. Top off the windshield washer reservoir, like Reservoir Dogs. Mr. White, Mr. Pink, remember all those guys? That's good. You saw Reservoir Dogs, didn't you? God help me.
The whole car from start to finish went together quite nice. It's probably one of the better cars that we've done yet. It sounds good. I'm sure it's going to run hard and be just fine. Beautiful.
Gonna be a gorgeous car. That's a beauty. It's a beaut, Clark.
Opposite direction.
That is a beaut, Clark. So now that the car is running, we just got to make sure that the fluid levels are where they're supposed to be. Information labels and assembly line markings I still have to do on it. Still needs to go down and have the wheel alignment. Other than that, and just driving it, you know, making sure there's no problems before the owner gets here. That's it. Really a day's worth of work. And that car is ready to deliver to the owner, which is going to be pretty exciting. Well, listen, I'm going to head on back to reality. You guys take care of yourselves. I'll be upstairs asleep if you're looking for me.
Again?
I gotta hustle back to the present. I'll see you guys later. Okay.
Bye, Will.
All right.
All right, here we
Come
go.
on out. Here we go. Gentlemen. Will?
I'm included in that, gentlemen.
All right, now walk through here. It's a little bit on the dark side, so
Okay,
Pink
you know.
Floyd. We're gonna have you stand here. So behind that incredibly obnoxious light is your car that you have been waiting for an awfully long time.
Oh, man.
Are you happy?
Oh,
Are you excited?
You know what? I'm very excited that after bugging him for a decade or
this
more
is why we're here.
and getting the
That's
car
true.
up here and then working with you,
Don't-
that it's done.
The truth is, if he hadn't been torturing you to get the car done, it'd be sitting in that same little
Oh,
lot.
absolutely. Yeah. Thanks, bud.
All right, so we're gonna do this in order here if we are ready. Kill the key light first. Wheel lights. So right now your car is floating
Oh,
on a pillow of light. Are you ready to see your car?
oh man.
All right. House lights. There, my friend,
God.
is your 1968 Dodge Charger, the way it was when it left the assembly line
That's insane.
on the day that it was built.
Oh my God. Jeez.
If you'll notice, the body lines, they never looked that good from the factory, so we have to make them. Yeah, take a look down the side.
Outstanding.
Yep, absolutely.
I always love this too.
I do too. Coolest feature ever. Absolutely
Yeah,
coolest
it's-
feature ever.
The back end is.
Is that
baby.
sexy or is that
Now
sexy?
that is sexy.
Yeah. Take a look at your interior.
Okay.
You got to see that.
Incredible.
And that, my friend, is the way it should look.
Yeah.
We have the original interior kits that we get from our friends at Classic Industries. Your seats have pearl in them. In 68, the white seats had a pearl effect in them. 69, they
Wow.
didn't.
Wow.
So that's very unique. The pleats going that direction, that's
Right.
all unique. And slide behind the wheel.
Can I actually sit
You
in
can
my,
sit in your baby.
Can I sit in my baby?
We're gonna let it down here and fire it up in a little bit, but right now you go ahead and set in there.
Hey, Dave, you're going to want to try this out.
How's that feel?
Oh, incredible.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
It's been a long time.
It has.
Well, it had been sitting in a open storage area for probably 20 years, Dave?
Yeah, at least 20 years.
And Dave and I have been friends for at least that long, and every year, well, maybe every month, Dave would say, hey, Victor, we got to get this car restored. And
Do
I'd
something.
say, Dave, yeah, sure, we'll get it done someday. And then he started putting the pressure on me.
And finally, he agreed. He says, it's time. But
Yeah.
me being the car guy versus him, he said, do me a favor. You figure out what to do, where to send it. You take the whole reins on the project. I trust you. So 5 years later, it's there. And it's gorgeous.
Oh, absolutely amazing. Oh, this is so sweet. You guys, you did an amazing job.
Thank you.
You really did. I mean,
Well, why are you hiding back there? Get over here. You're hiding behind the camera.
Dave, come on, Dave.
We're just back here talking
Well,
cars.
don't be back there talking. We're shooting a show, man. Have a seat.
We're talking cars.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
No talking.
I'm a car guy. I've been a car guy since a little kid. I've had just about everything. My last Charger was a 1970 Charger 500. And to look at this thing rotting into the dirt, it killed me. So I'd hound them.
And I
Do
wouldn't sell it
something
to 'em.
or sell it to me, one way or the other. Got that opalescent to the white.
Give her a crank up.
Fire her up.
Pump her once and do it. Oh, whoa, yeah, that sounds beautiful.
That's what we want.
Give her a little juice.
He said a little.
You know my right
nervous
foot weighs
side.
50 pounds. Sounds the way a muscle car should sound. You know?
Right, right.
You can't mistake a big block engine lope. It's just classic. I mean, it is classic big block from the 60s, early 70s, you know? The feel, the sound, the aroma of petrol being burned. You know, you can't duplicate that with modern stuff. A Prius
Gotta
just
love it.
doesn't sound like that.
No.
Woohoo! That is a beautiful machine.
Outstanding, you guys. Outstanding.
Hear that, Willie?
Well,
That's
you guys
what you want.
made another dream come true.
I'm the
Actually,
dream maker.
Two. And
Two
three.
dreams.
My wife's
Thank you,
not
Mark.
here, but she's gonna appreciate it when she sees it.
Let's take a look under the hood real quick.
If it wasn't for this pretty car, I would not be married to my current wife because she loved cars, and met her at this party, and she wasn't looking at me. She saw me driving up in this beautiful Charger, so that was the.
And she attached to it just as much as you are?
She loves the car.
So everything on this is just the way it should have been in 1968.
Absolutely amazing.
Fantastic. What do you
Dave,
Will you
dude.
stop with your phone?
No.
Come on, listen, a kid.
Hey, I got pictures that you sent me. Now I've got pictures
Now
over
you got
here.
your own, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, it came out awesome. After all this time, it'll be stored properly, because if not, I'm going to be over there dragging it out with my truck. And he'll now find out what it's like to go to Cars and Coffee events and go to some car shows with me.
I just want to thank the whole Graveyard Cars team for an incredible job. I was talking to one of the guys just saying, hey, you know what? When you have those hard days at work, just remember you're making someone's dreams come true. And you guys, all at Graveyard Cars, really made my wife and I's dreams come true. And my buddy Dave. Yeah.